In fitness, especially in CrossFit, we're often taught that more effort leads to more progress. Show up, push harder, move faster. But what happens when you're doing all of that and still not improving? Welcome. I'm Tierra Duncan, and this channel is all about women's health, from hormones and nutrition to fitness and stress. Real science, real conversations, and tools to help you thrive. Today, I'm joined by Monroe Miller, CrossFit coach and movement specialist, to talk about why some athletes get stuck, how movement quality impacts performance, and why you can't outtrain poor mechanics. Hi, Monroe.
Hey, Tierra, how are you?
Welcome, welcome. So many athletes feel like they're doing everything right, showing up consistently and following programming, but still not improving. From your perspective, what's usually the missing piece?
So I tell everyone that humans only know consistency and repetition. And so a lot of times what I see is that, especially with CrossFit, when people are trying hard, they're trying really hard to move really well. But then as soon as the clock starts and the intensity goes up, they are just trying to go hard on the workout. And a lot of times that leads to not ideal movement patterns, and the number of reps that they will do in a situation where they're not thinking about moving correctly far outweighs the time and the number of reps that they spend thinking about moving correctly. And so that, if you think about your hips being tight, people have issues with the bottom of the squat. And a lot of it is, hey, how much time are you spending down there? You spend so much more
Mhm.
time in your day with your hips above your knees. It's kind of expected that you're not going to feel as comfortable down there, and it's going to be easy for you to not sit in the deep squat. So, yeah, I just think a lot of it is the repetition of poor quality versus good quality. And I don't think it's like most of the people that I've met aren't trying to move badly. Like if you ask anyone that's going to the gym, they're not trying to move poorly. They're trying to move well. They're trying to listen to the coaching. It's just somewhere in between three, two, one, go and the end of the workout, things kind of get lost in translation. So
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've been there, thinking I was crushing a
we all
workout, and
have.
then the coach is like, can you squat a little lower or make sure to lock out your overhead?" So when we talk about like mechanics or movement quality, what does that actually mean? And then how would someone know that, like I was saying in my case, that theirs is off?
That's a good question. A lot of people. So the problem is, and this is one thing that I think bodybuilding got very right, which is mind muscle connection.
Mm,
I think that CrossFitters in general don't focus on that as much. They focus on like I said, going hard, doing the reps, the intensity of it, which intensity produces results. But the more you can like really hone in on that, on the way that it feels, and it takes slowing down to do that. So I think that a lot of people, it's not that, a lot of people think they're going to depth on the wall ball, for example. This is pertinent
yeah,
for now.
26.1.
Uh, yeah, a lot of people think they're getting to depth, but they can't like they can't feel the correct muscles. And like, your brain needs oxygen. And if your body is getting it, your brain sometimes
It's
can't think super
turned off.
clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can't connect those muscles. And like a lot of people start exercise, like you hear about like the runner's high and everything. Running is a pretty like it's not that there's no technique, but it's a pretty like straightforward type of thing. And part of I think what people love about running is that you can really zone out and you can get that runner's high and you just feel like you're just moving through space and it's just, oh, I'm just breathing. Like that's great. It helps you disconnect. If you do that in a CrossFit workout and you disconnect too much, it's like you start to train poor patterns and you start to train them at a very high volume. So it's like, that's where we see people do these really bad pull-ups or really bad
Mm.
push-ups. It's like, dude, you're in the middle of Murph. You're trying to do 200 push-ups. No wonder like people start to just kind of like half rep it and then their shoulders start to hurt. It's like you're not trying hard at the right thing in that time. And a lot of people train CrossFit. A lot of people don't practice CrossFit, which is another thing that I'm
Oh,
huge into. And I think
yeah.
that like, with training, it's really simple to say, "Hey, I'm going to the gym to train. I'm going to get the work done." But there is so much value in practicing and practicing CrossFit. And it doesn't you don't have to do a separate program or stay extra outside of the gym. It's just the way that you approach the workout. I think some
Yeah,
of that is coaching, but
that makes a lot of sense. I something that I will tell folks while I'm coaching a class is if they're asking for more feedback or they want more insight, I always tell folks, film yourself. Something that's been really helpful for me, especially like learning more gymnastic style movements when you first don't have like that body awareness or awareness in space, film yourself. You think you're doing something and then you see that kip swing on a bar and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm piking my heels, my this and my that." I find that to be helpful. And then also drilling, making drilling part of the warm up. So, like if I have a row workout, I might do, just work on the pool or just work on the drive or, whatever. I have found that to be helpful with trying to figure out how to learn my body, especially coming in with no real fitness background
for sure.
before CrossFit.
Yeah, and like being in a class is great. There is kind of a lottery of like the quality of coaching and
Sure.
experience that people get in a CrossFit gym, which is unfortunate, but I mean, I can't control other people, but a lot of what I see is like people look at the workout like it's like the hour that we're in class, that's like the time to perform. And it's like, no, this is the
Mhm.
time when we need to practice. Like this is the time when we're learning how to do CrossFit. Like sure, CrossFit is the activity that we're doing, and I don't really anymore think that CrossFit is a sport. But that's a maybe a topic for another day. But there is like there's a practice element to what we're doing that people miss, and they just want to push themselves because pushing yourself feels great until you
To
push
get
yourself
hurt.
till you're broken. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
well, and then like I said, like it's so many reps in the wrong way. I mean, I coach people all over the world, and a lot of what I see is like you've just, you've done so many poor power snatches in metcons that like all your body knows is this. And it
Mm,
even if you try really hard on the 7 heavy reps that you're doing during your strength session, like
that muscle memory
yeah,
really
the
wants
muscle
to put
memory is just
you. Mhm.
for sure. And the other thing is like, I think a lot of people are limited by their what they do outside of the gym, which goes for nutrition as well as movement.
Oh, preach. Also, I think, sitting at a desk all day, right? I mean, that's what I do. So trying to like you said earlier, you're sitting with your hips and your knees in a certain position all day and then trying to go in and squat. Going back to kind of compensatory movement patterns and things that are off, what are some things you commonly see that people are limited by when it comes to movement?
Um, so they're related to sitting, I think.
Okay.
I tell my classes, I'm like, what do I say? I'm a general in the battle against sitting. So
Mm,
I think that a lot of the issues, like the 2 most common things that I see are people with tight, short hip flexors. So the front side of their hip is short and tight, and their upper backs are long and weak. So the human body is two-sided. So typically, when people sit at a desk, their pecs get really tight from typing at a computer and texting on a cell phone and driving in a car, and their upper back muscles get long and weak. And even if we stretch and open up the front side of the body, a lot of times there isn't enough strength in the scaps to be held in the correct position. And it's the same thing with the hips. If you're sitting all day and your hip flexors are short and tight, you're also sitting on your butt and your glutes kind of turn off, right? Um,
PTs are gonna come after you for saying that.
well,
They don't
yeah,
turn off, yeah.
yeah. I mean, they don't turn off, but they don't
Yeah, yeah,
fire fully, right? Which is what we're like.
right.
It's like, you know, y- strength is built in range of motion. Like, can
Yeah.
you can you fully express the power of your glutes? Not if the front side of your hip is so tight, like your glute won't be able to fire fully against the tightness of the front of the hip. And so it's always like a two-sided thing. It's stretching the front, strengthening the back. Same thing with the knees. Like people have short tight quads and they have long, weak hamstrings. And so it's like your knees are going to keep hurting unless you stretch the front side and also strengthen your hamstrings. Like, so it's always a two-sided thing. And I think the big culprit is sitting. Dr. Kelly Starrett said your butt is not a
Yeah.
load-bearing surface. And that's like so true. The skin on your hands and feet is completely different than the skin on the rest of your body. So it's like these are meant to bear load and your butt is not, you know?
Yeah, I'm looking at his book right now across my bookshelf. Yeah, why you kind of addressed this a little bit earlier, but why do you think some of these issues go unaddressed or even potentially get worse in those group class settings?
So two things. One, I think is coaching. I don't want to blame it all on the coach, but I do see a variance in quality of coaches, even coaches who have been doing it for a very long time. I think that um, coaching is an art more than a science, and knowing, being able to identify what's the root of the problem, I think is something that takes a very long time to be good at. I think it's easy to say, "Oh yeah, the weight's in the heels," or "Oh yeah, your knees are caving in," or "Oh yeah, you know, your back is rounded." But like there could be 3, 4, 5 different reasons why that's happening, and just calling out the problem is not helpful for a lot of people. And it's like that's where you get when, which I'm sure you've had, where you coach someone, you're like, "Hey, yeah, your knees," and they're like, "Yeah, my knees, I know." And it's like, okay, well, if you know, like, why aren't you fixing it? And the reason they're not
Fix it,
fixing it is
man.
because,
Yeah.
like, the knees wobbling is a recruitment issue or it's a tightness issue. There's, like, something else, like, it's not, a lot of coaches will see the symptom and they're like, "Oh, man, that's what's I need to coach that." And it's like, "Yeah, but that's not the root of what's like, that's just a symptom of why something else is broken," you know? And I think a lot of it is feet. That's another thing.
Oh,
Again, from
yeah,
sitting,
weak
like,
yeah,
weakness
weak
in the
feet, weak
feet.
arches. Mhm.
And the problem
Not
with the
knowing how
knee,
to recruit your big toe, right, is
100%.
really big. Yeah, I just you talking made me think about, like, my coaching experience, right? I've been doing it since 2015, and how starting out as a coach, I would try to use too many words, and I would
Mhm.
try to address the symptom, but it really does take seeing hundreds, in my opinion, hundreds and hundreds of variations in people doing a movement for you to make those, eyes up, elbows,
Mhm.
whatever the cue is. And even if you don't exactly address the root of the time, learning how to cue in a way that makes sense to the athlete, right? As
100%.
opposed to going over and be like, "Did you know you need to do this and do that and do that?" And it's not helpful.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
coaching is communication more than anything, and
Yeah.
it's being able to speak to the person in front of you in the right way, and nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care, and there's a lot of very smart coaches that don't connect well with people, and it's like, "Cool, I don't care that you know what's wrong with me." Like, I'm not
Right.
bought in yet, you know? And
Yeah.
so, like, part of what I do as a coach is like, I mean, the people that I work with online, there's kind of some inherent buy-in because they signed up for my thing. Like
They thought you
they came, yeah,
specifically.
they came to
Yeah.
listen to me, like the people in my gym, like a lot of them have, if they've never done CrossFit before and they haven't been like in the CrossFit sphere, they don't know that I've been putting out content for years and like that, I've been harping all this stuff along. That I'm just
Yeah.
nobody to them, and so like I
Yeah.
still have to get that buy-in, and that takes time, and if you do it wrong, like you can't try and fix everything the first day that someone walks into the gym.
Oh,
And
facts.
yeah, like you're just trying to, and I trying to tell people like, hey, there's a lot of things that we could do, but like I just want you to show up tomorrow. Like I want you to come back feeling good. Not You shouldn't walk into a gym and the coach make you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm just this mess of problems. And it's like
Yeah.
not helpful. We want to make sure that they feel like they got a good workout, that they had fun, that they made some friends, and that they want to come back to the next workout. And that also takes time as a coach. And I see a lot of like newer coaches that almost want to not show off, but they want to show that they know. And it's like,
Sure. Yeah.
that's cool that you know. Doesn't make
But
a
are you
difference if you did
connecting?
it.
Are
Right. And
you
like,
yeah. Are you communicating? Yeah, I mean, I definitely again, just reflecting on my own journey as you say these things, I have been guilty of that, right? Wanting to it's not show off, it's more for me, it was like prove that I'm credible.
yeah.
You know, you feel a sense of, oh man, like you have to prove yourself, or like, I should only speak for myself. I initially felt that way until I got
In
more
there.
confident. Yeah, and I just got more confident, and then really going back to what you were saying, it's about the relationship,
Mhm.
right? With whoever you're talking to and making them feel comfortable, and that really is kind of the key. I mean, do you have any, kind of advice for, like, a new coach or a coach that's sitting and listening to this and being like, "Oh, is that me?" Do you have any advice for them?
Um, so I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say you have to learn like trial by fire kind of thing, but like
You kinda
there's a
do.
lot of it is where like you have to coach a lot of people. I think that a lot of CrossFit coaches, especially, they have only been in a group class setting. They go to their level one because their gym needs help, and they coach the class, and there's 20 people in the class, and then they do that once a week, maybe for 2 hours, and then they're trading their membership, and like that's their only exposure to coaching. And the best thing that you can do to get better at coaching is one, to coach more, but to coach one on one takes a whole nother level
Oh,
of skill, because with a group class, you can just be like, "Hey, Betty, stay on your heels," and then walk
yeah.
away.
Or,
And
"Good
like
job."
yeah, like you feel good, like you gave Betty the right cue. And then,
Yeah, yeah.
you move on to Dylan and you're like, "Dylan, shoulders back." And you're like, "I learned that at the L1." But like, if
Yeah.
you have someone in front of you and you're like, "Okay, Betty, I need you to sit more into your heels, or I need you to keep your big toe down." And then she doesn't do it. You can't just be like, "No, Betty, that wasn't right."
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Like, you're standing there and she's like, "Okay, coach, tell me how to fix it." And that's
Yeah,
when you actually have to, like, level up and, like, be like, "Okay, now how do I think about this? How can I explain this to this person?" And I think that coaching a variety of types of people also helps, and, like, it's just experience. Like, coaching kids is way hard in a different way. You have to make it more fun for them, like, you have to make it more like a game. You can't tell them what muscles they need to turn on
they
and
don't care.
whether their knee is valgus, like, it just doesn't
Yeah,
matter,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Same thing, I had a kid with autism that I was doing private training with, and this was a couple months ago. It was some of the most challenged that I've been as a coach, because it's like, it's not only that I was struggling to figure out how to connect with him, it's like he was also struggling to figure out how to connect his brain to his body and do what I was trying to
Mm.
say. And then he would get frustrated with himself, and then he'd get frustrated with me, and then I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like, it's very, like, on the spot, like, "Oh, man, time to show up and be a good coach." And, like, in that time, like, nobody cares what certification you have, or whether, like, you
True.
know what I mean? Like, or how
Yeah.
long you've been doing it. I couldn't be like, "You need to listen to me. I've been doing this for 15 years." Like, it just doesn't matter. He just needs help, and, like, it's my job to connect to him. And I was like, "Hey, man, it's like, it's just me and you in here. Let's figure it out." Like, and, we did, but that was, like, a very big experience. Usually the better the athlete is, the easier they are to coach, because they're used to, like, getting feedback and, like, hearing things. I coached at Power Monkey,
Oh, I
and
love yeah. I went
it
to
was
one of their seminars. Awesome.
oh, really? I
Mhm.
coached at the camp with Dave at the, jump rope workshop, and, yeah, like, I worked with some games athletes, and, like, they're
Probably super easy to coach.
oh, yeah, they're super responsive, and they're like,
Yeah.
um, yeah, one of them was like, "Oh, so, like, I'll see you at the I'll probably see you around." I'm like, "Yeah, probably not." And she was like, you don't coach any athletes?" I'm like, I mean, I'm like the people's coach, like, I'm like the
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, it's
I'm like
funny.
more the, I'm not the games athlete coach. Not that I don't wanna coach games athletes, it's just I get more fired up helping everyday people get to the next level, you know? Like, once people get
Yeah.
to a certain point, and this is, like, what you're saying, why don't people improve? And some of it is the quality of coaching, but I think some of it is ego. And I think
Oh, yeah.
so that's the other thing that I think that holds a lot of people back. And, everybody's like, "Oh, leave your ego at the door," but that's way harder to do in practice than it
Not
is.
when you've got Tim next to you who's doing half reps and you know he's gonna write a good score. I gotta
Yeah.
beat Tim. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kinda toxic, and it's like that's like, um, it's kinda baked into the culture of CrossFit, which is unfortunate, and that's
But,
something
like,
that I'm trying to fight against, but, I've gotten into skateboarding lately.
I've noticed.
Dude, the culture of skateboarding is so refreshing. Like,
Just so chill.
I mean, it's not that it's just chill, it's just like all anyone cares about is that you're having a good time riding your skateboard. Like,
Mm,
that's what it is. And like, that's what CrossFit should be. It should be, hey, we're in here getting healthy and doing CrossFit.
yeah.
Like, there's a sport in skateboarding, like, it's competitive. There's people trying to do like crazier and crazier things and trying to do like things that have never been done before. Sure. But also, like, you look across what is celebrated in skateboarding, like, you can do a simple kickflip and make it look beautiful, and, like, everyone will worship you. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this dude has the nicest kickflip
Mm.
ever." And it's, like, not a hard thing, but, like and sometimes you see people do these crazy, complicated, insane flip tricks, and people are like, yeah, it's not that cool."
So
It's like
quality of movement is more celebrated.
for sure, and, like, we do that with,
Mhm.
like, the snatch, like, everyone can appreciate a beautiful snatch. You're like, "Oh my gosh, that guy moved
Oh,
nice
for
under that
real.
bar."
Yeah,
But in the sport, it's still who's lifting the most weight, you know?
that's
And
true.
people get,
But
like, that weight battle, and, like, if you're
yeah.
stuck at the same weight over and over again, it's, like, kinda not there. So that's been something I've experienced with getting involved with the skateboarding community is, like, man, how do I bring some of that, like, this
Translate that over.
yeah, this is just about us working out and breathing, and, like, all the people in CrossFit gyms are most of them are so fit. Like, dude, this is a blessing that we get to do this, you know? It's a blessing that you're able to walk around and squat your body weight and throw a wall ball 150 times and, like
I mean, you're in the top without realizing it, you're in the top, but 10% of the world being able to do those things.
yep,
Yeah, I was just thinking, as you were discussing, like, eyes on and then challenges with different types of athletes. I worked with a spinal cord injury athlete and, like, the challenges there, and then talk about for him being able to be functional literally is life-saving,
yep.
and then we're over here like, "Oh, I didn't snatch 200 today." I mean, I'll never snatch 200, but you know what I mean? I didn't do this, and I'm like, "This guy has to learn how to transfer from his wheelchair to the ground and up, and that's literally gonna save his life." So having that, like, cultural mindset shift, going for the quality of movement. If somebody, is listening to this and they're like, "Okay, so I'm stuck thinking about my ego, thinking about coaching quality, where I can seek that." What are, like, 1 or 2 things that you would advise or, suggest for that athlete or for that member, that person?
I mean, you can join my program.
Yeah, yeah, all
So
day.
subtle
Yeah.
plug.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
you got a lot of free content. Like, you've got tons
yeah,
of great videos out there on your Instagram and on your YouTube as well.
for sure. And, I try to put out as much as I can of what I think and things that I think will really help people. I definitely think improvement comes in the application of it. Like, it's not like knowing the drills to do or knowing, what stretches you need to do or whatever. Like, yeah, that's step one. And you can find all of that for free on the internet. It's like, how are you actually applying that to your everyday training. Like, and that's what I really try and help with is, if you do this drill poorly, you're going to reinforce the same pattern. And humans do what they do most. We're always going to use what's strongest on us. So, like, we see this with the pull up all the time, where people will be fine here and then they start to do this. And I
Hmm.
can make 50 YouTube videos about how that works and like why you should hold your scaps down. But if you go into your workout and you just do this 100 times because you're trying to keep up with Tim, then like
Freaking Tim.
it's just gonna be the same thing, and, like, you're not
Yeah.
gonna improve at it. In fact, you're gonna get stronger in the way that you're already strong, and that's why I said it's an ego issue where, like, you're gonna have to peel back some of the intensity. You're gonna have to peel back some of, like, the volume. You're gonna have to peel back some of the movement issues that you have to fix them. And a lot of
Mm.
people, and I think a lot of people are sold on the idea of more is better and or what they're doing already isn't good enough. Like
Mm.
I don't write a program. Like I mean I have programs, but like CrossFit works. Like most of what people are doing in their CrossFit gym class is plenty. Like it's good enough. It's just they do it poorly. And like people are like, "Oh, well, I need to, I want to get to the next level. So don't I need to go do a competitor program if I want to go compete?" It's like, dude, you can't even squat to depth. Like
Right. Let's start with
what
step
what
one.
Matt, yeah, like
Yeah.
I know you want to go follow Misfit because you think that's what your favorite athletes are doing, but like you're just going to end up broken from the excess volume. Not saying Misfit is any different than
But
any other one.
excessive
I'm just
volume
saying,
with poor movement.
right, you're putting more
Yeah.
stress, more load, and it's like there's a whole system that needs to go behind moving better and, improving the way that you move. And it has nothing to do with the program that you're on. Like it has everything to do with every single rep that you're doing in the gym. And a lot of people want to say, "Oh, like, how do I get better at that?" Well, you have to do it right. Like you have to only do it right. Like if you keep doing it wrong, you're
Yeah.
just going to keep reinforcing the wrong thing. And that's like literally what I feel like I just spend my days yapping about on the internet.
Yeah, I've definitely seen like the program hoppers, kind of ascribing blame to this didn't work or that didn't work. But to your point, and kind of, the base of this whole conversation is if you want to be a better athlete and you want to be more fit and perform the way you think you need to take a look at how am I moving? Am I always chasing intensity or am I really developing my skill? Am I doing full range of motion? And without that kind of awareness, you're likely not going to move to that next level.
For sure.
You had mentioned it earlier with all the content and the programs you do. Where can people find you, Monroe?
I have a YouTube channel. I have all of my handles are Monroe Miller, just my name. So
Easy.
you can find me on Instagram, find me on YouTube. I have an online program on school. Do you know what school is?
I saw it on your YouTube channel.
Okay. School is
I saw the
awesome.
link.
School is
Okay.
awesome. It is literally my favorite place to hang out on the internet. Like
Okay.
there's no ads. It's just very like it's a very wholesome, good place right now on the internet. And I think it's one of the that is something that on the internet is kind of dying, is like places without ads and without a bunch of AI stuff. But school is an awesome platform where basically you can upload videos and get video feedback from me. So I have all of, drills, programs to develop every movement. It's called Technique Team, but it's just a bunch of people that are really focused on moving better and trying to improve in that way. I have all ages, people from all over the world doing it, which is super cool. And it's like exactly the type of coaching that I want to do. Like that's what I love. I think nutrition is super important, but I hate doing nutrition coaching.
Oh,
uh,
nutrition, that's a whole other conversation. But yeah,
yeah,
I agree. Not just nutrition, but every lifestyle, your sleep, your stress,
for sure.
your mindset, all those things are so important. Well, I really appreciate the change you're trying to make within the culture. You're crushing it. Your content is awesome.
Thank you.
Please follow Monroe. He's a great coach and a great person. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.